Well, we're at a point where we could actually theoretically hook up wires and start this thing, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I know obviously I need radiator and cooling hoses and transmission lines and all that, but if we're in idle or neutral, that shouldn't matter. It's not gonna pump a ton of fluid out onto the floor, so don't worry about that. So I just turn this over to top dead center, and now I'm gonna stab my distributor pointing at solar 1, and we're gonna do a fire test. How about that? Hey, welcome back to Hey guys, welcome back to Junkyard Alchemy. We're going to be working on the big block charger today. We've got the 440 here. As you can see, distributor stabbed, spark plug wires are ran. We've got a battery installed over there. I've done a cranking test. You can see oil sitting on the rockers at the moment. And basically we had a successful cranking test and we got oil movement, which is great. So next, we gotta obviously get spark and fuel. I have a bottle that I'm just gonna hook up for fuel for right now because I haven't dropped the tank or inspected any of that. I'm probably gonna wait till I can get this on the rack to get the tank down. Everything else I'm doing over here, I got the transmission installed, engine, everything on the ground over here. But you might have seen sitting off to the side, we have this HEI module. This is out of a Chevrolet small block distributor. So you pull these out of the cap, and this is basically what times and fires your pulses. It's a GM part. It's a pretty common swap. Basically, I'm going to hook one of these to the signal coming off the distributor for my 440, and we're going to hook up power and ground, and it's going to get grounded through here, and it'll do the rest for us. It'll send the pulses and tell our coil when to fire. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and mount this over here. I've got some self-tappers and a piece of aluminum that I'm going to mount this to. Alright, this is our test setup. So I got my wires off the distributor going to the right side of that HEI module. I got power and ground going to the other side. Also, coil hooked up to power. And I think we're gonna go ahead and put a spark plug tester on it, crank it over and verify we have spark, and then we'll crank it again, put a little gas down the cylinder and see if we can get it to fire. Alright, testing setup V, I don't know, 3 or 4, figuring out which wire goes where for the HEI bullshit to this distributor, and finding some good power. So I finally found 12 volt, and I realized my ignition isn't hooked up in there, and there's actually a switch under the dash that turns on, my headlights and everything come on, so somebody bypassed the ignition on this at some point. It wasn't me, I swear to God. So we got hooked up on there, we cranked it, we do have spark there, so now it's a fuel issue. Obviously, I don't have fuel lines hooked up because I don't trust what's in that tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dump some fuel down the carb, and we're gonna see if we can get a fire out of this thing. So I'm gonna stand you guys up here. Ignore the double filter. This outer one was in the trunk, and it is in horrible condition. There's actually sections of it you can see on the other side where there's just no filter at all. It's just mesh. So I threw that one in there just as a safe net. I don't want ingesting all the chunks of filter. I like the way it looks, and I haven't gone and gotten a new big one yet. Different coil installed. Let's try that. Hey. That scared the shit out of me. But apparently, that brand new coil is bad. What the fuck, dude? I don't know how that even happened. That doesn't make any sense. That was a completely brand new coil. Oh, my ears hurt. That was loud. Holy fuck. So anyway, welcome back to Junkyard Alchemy. You may have noticed we didn't upload this weekend. That's because I was busy troubleshooting what fucking issue I made that I ended up going through two coils. As it turns out, guys, these coils are meant to be used with an external resistor. These are the factory style canister coils. And I, going to the HEI module, was not using the ballast resistor. So, in turn, I was sending a full 12 volts to the coil that wasn't designed for it, and burnt up that first one and initially ran into that issue, and you guys saw that. Well, I burnt up the second one, the blue one, and I started to wonder, it's a little weird that a brand new one immediately burnt up. But sure, cheap, $12 Amazon. But then this one, it's a lot heavier, it's a lot more robust, and it was working after sitting in whatever conditions for however many years. I guess it could blow up after just, old age, and it did, give me a few good sparks after that. But I don't think so. Turns out I was sending a full 12 volts to that. It wasn't designed for it. So I went and bought a $48 Edelbrock Max Fire. This one's actually designed to be used without an external resistor. And we finished up our wiring, and now we're all good. So I have the wiring for my coil negative and my keyed 12 volt going to the HEI, and then follow that harness up right up into here. They share their 12 volt feed coming off of the original power source harness. So I just pulled that blue wire right there. And then we have our positive there, and positive goes to the HEI. The negative only goes to the HEI, to the coil negative position, because this determines when that coil gets grounded out to cause a spark. And then for these two, it's green and orange. It's actually reversed on this, so the orange doesn't go to the orange. It's orange to black, and then green to orange over on the distributor side. And this is a standard points replacement, so it's a magnetic pickup distributor. And that's it. That's the HEI conversion for a Mopar. Real simple. Just make sure ground for that is going straight to your HEI, so it's in control. You have positive switch 12 volt to both, and your signal wires. And that's it. That's the entire conversion. We also ran fuel lines down to our mechanical fuel pump down there, the Holly. I just zip tied it there so it's not touching anything firewall wise, and put a fuel filter in and zip tied it here so that it's not moving anywhere. PCV, what's it called? The actual valve portion to that vacuum port on the carburetor. And over there, I will probably put a breather, and it should, through the engine and out here, just like that big loop. Not sure if it's required on this engine. Don't think so, but that's what we're gonna do. Electric choke also hooked up to switch 12 volt, so it'll close up depending on whatever values it's sensing. I'm not entirely sure on how the choke system works on this Edelbrock, but it seemed to work. When I turn the key on, that thing went whatever, does its thing. So that's our wiring and hoses for the most part. Next up, let's get this drive shaft in.